The after takeoff climb checklist is removed to reduce workload. Important considerations is the risk of forgetting to retract the landing gear. Therefore, the landing gear must be checked up during the acceleration flow, which is now select flap 0, disarm spoilers, landing gear check up, and exterior lights is set. Dear guests, welcome back to the channel. Airbus recently came out with a new format to their checklist. Why did they change it? Is it better? More simple? Let's find out. Now, Airbus has not only come up with new checklists but also SOPs and revised briefing policy. It is a 3-year process where Airbus discussed with operators on how to operate the aircraft in a more efficient way. The reason for the revision is to have a shorter checklist and to avoid interruptions. Airbus is moving away from the down to the line, below the line concept that has been around since the dinosaur age, and it will depend on the operator, your airline, to embrace this change. Let's explore some of the changes. The old before takeoff checklist is now divided into two: a taxi checklist and a lineup checklist. So taxi checklist, flight control check, flap setting, config blank, both have to say whatever the config is. Engine mode selector, either norm or ignition, ECAM memo, takeoff, no blue. Now let us look at the lineup checklist. Takeoff runway confirmed by both pilots, radar and predictive wind shear on, cabin crew advised, TCAS, TA or TARA, pack 1 and 2 off or on. In case of a departure change, pilots would need to do a revised departure briefing and then call out for a departure change checklist. Yes, there is one. A departure change checklist is an additional safety net to make sure that the pilot set up the correct data into the FMGS. Okay, runway and SID, confirm. Flap setting, state what config you are in. Takeoff speeds and thrust, FCU altitude, say what the altitude is. The after takeoff climb checklist is removed to reduce workload. Important considerations is the risk of forgetting to retract the landing gear. Therefore, the landing gear must be checked up during the acceleration flow, which is now select flap 0, disarm spoilers, landing gear check up, and exterior lights is set. Let us move on to the new approach checklist. Barrel reference confirmed by both pilots, seatbelts on, minimum both have to say. They added a new line which is auto brake either low or medium. And last but not least, engine mode selector, select. The two items they removed was the briefing line and ECAM status check line. If there is a status message, it will show up on the SLATS extension page anyway. On to the landing checklist, new landing checklist. Go around altitude is confirmed by both cabin crew advice and ECAM memo, which is landing no blue. The auto thrust status line is removed because we should know our FMA at all times. Do check out my video on A320 FMA. Now with the after landing checklist, the old checklist comprised of flaps retracted, spoilers disarm, APU start, radar off and predictive wind shear system off. Now after the after landing flow, the only item to check in the checklist is radar and predictive wind shear system off. In summary, there is no major change in the SOP or checklist. There is a new departure and arrival briefing format. If the conditions after departure change, do a departure change checklist. Check that the landing gear is up after takeoff climb checklist, as the after takeoff climb checklist is removed. Start the APU after landing, and also during parking set the seatbelt switch to off only after slides are checked disarm. Do join our Telegram pilot community for more details.